Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our advanced trainings. My name is Petra, if this is your first time here. And tonight we are going to look at the session that we were supposed to look at last month. So we're going to talk about inflammation. So before we go into inflammation, how is your experience with inflammation? Anybody has inflammation? If you have it, pop in 1. If you don't have it, if you feel like everything's perfect and you feel like your body is moving in the right direction, pop in 2 in the comments, in the chat. And then we're going to explore inflammation a bit deeper. But sorry, I've been talking all day and my, my voice is a bit overloaded. Okay, so exciting times, inflammation. I know I'm not supposed to be excited about inflammation, but it is okay. Perfect. I love the 2. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, only 1 doesn't have it. Yeah. Okay. So let's dive deep. Why is inflammation so bad or good, or what do we do with it, and why does it happen, and why do we don't want it, or why do we want it, right? Because I've been listening to inflammation is bad, it's, we need to get rid of inflammation, it's not okay, you should not have inflammation. But to me, that's really funny. I'm sorry, I'm a different person. But inflammation in itself is actually really beneficial, yeah, as a first response, yeah. So we need to understand the inflammation is there for a reason. So we're gonna kind of explore why is it there, and why the body actually does it. So, and like I say, with everything on a physical level, because physical is just a response of your energetics, right? So your emotions, your mental patterns, yeah, thought patterns, perspectives, and your suppressed energetics, yeah, so energy that's in the layers of the body, not only in a physical body. And I always say that because everything that your body does has an intention, is there for a reason. So if something is inflamed, then the body is trying to protect you. Yeah, it's trying to actually save you. So what is it causing that inflammation is the question that we should be asking. So before, obviously, majority of you have been faced with inflammation. So inflammation, okay, let me start sharing so I can actually, you can start seeing. So it's not only me seeing stuff. Where is it? Yeah, here. Okay. So everybody seeing my slides? Just give me thumbs up so I can orientate. Perfect. Okay. So the topic of reducing inflammation is literally focused on one type of inflammation. So before we go into the inflammation and the Healy and the programs and the support, as every Thursday, we need to understand that Healy does not treat, cure, mitigate, or prevent or diagnose any medical conditions. Yeah. But so here, whatever you are hearing here, it is just my experience, my knowledge of years and years and years and years of research and healing my own self and my own experience. And of course, as a community, you have the power to actually share things with each other. So you can actually share your experiences with different issues that you do have in your life, challenges that you can support yourself. And the most important thing is to understand that why we put this notice and why we put this disclaimer up is because the tendency when it comes to healing our physical body, which we tend to, especially when it comes to, alternative uses of frequency or anything else, our brain tends to separate from everything else. So we think that if something is on a physical level, we need to heal the physical and then the rest will follow. But in reality, healing anything on a physical level, we should actually start on the other side. Yeah, looking at the energetics first before the physical change happens. So my question before we dive into what inflammation is, what do you think? What is your belief? Do you think that inflammation is important for the body, or is it something that the body is doing to hurt you? I would love to understand what your thought patterns are and what your beliefs are. Because your beliefs are the first step towards your healing. And healing, I mean creating an environment, and literally in a physical environment, your emotional environment, your mental environment, and your physical environment within the body, in order for the body to shift in the state of being healed. Yeah? Because healing is, in energy, it happens instantly. On a physical level, we just need time to process the energy, if that makes sense. But it's really important. So obviously, I can see nobody wants to share their beliefs. Are you shy? So inflammation, is it important for the body or is it not important for your body? What do you think? Especially the ones that are having issues with your inflammation in the body. Okay, I'll give you time and I'll read that back later on if you come in. Okay, so as always, let's look at the definition. So inflammation in itself is actually a biological response of your body's immune system. And acute inflammation is good as it fights infection, but chronic and autoimmune inflammation is destructive. Yes, I think bad for the body. I like it. Inflammation is important, but the body often takes it too far and far too long. Okay, my belief is that not good for the body. Okay, let's look at it. Yeah. So inflammation is a biological response of the body's immune system to harmful stimuli, such as pathogen, damaged cells, or any other irritants. Yeah. And also inflammation is a part of your body's defense system. Yeah. So remember we had immune system last week. So immune system is your defense system, and inflammation is a part of your immune system, and is the first line of defense with anything that's coming in. And we think of inflammation only, things that, for example, you cut yourself and you have a wound, and of course it's red, and you have the inflammation, or there's something going on in the body, and there's issues, and that's inflammation. Yes, but inflammation happens on so many different levels, and it happens because your body is fighting something, because it's trying to push it out instead of literally accept it within himself. And this mechanism actually evolved to protect it from infection, injury, and illness. So illness is something that is disease, right? Out of balance, long term. And its purpose, the mechanism of inflammation, its purpose is to actually localize and eliminate the injury causing agent. So whatever is actually causing the irritation, the inflammation system, which is a part of the immune system, is here to actually localize that, to not move it through the body, and literally find a way to eliminate that out of the body. So it's not hurting anything else. So in this case, it's actually really beneficial for your body. It's the body's response to something that's actually eventually can hurt you. So it's a really important response of your body. And and also it removes damaged tissue in the components to healing. Oh, great. Again, Canva does that, I don't know why. So it actually helps the body to heal. So what does that mean? So we have two types of inflammation. Yeah. So one type of inflammation is acute inflammation, and the other one is chronic inflammation. So acute inflammation is a short-term response of your immune system, and it subsides once the irritants, whatever those are are eliminated out of the body. Yeah. And then the body goes back to the neutral state. So this is short term. So this is great for your wounds, something, I don't know, you cut yourself, you injure your leg, the bone needs healing, you have an infection in your tooth, like all of that are acute acute type of inflammation. I can't even speak today. The second type of inflammation is chronic inflammation. Is the one that actually it's because, okay, I'll reframe that. Acute or chronic inflammation is actually prolonged response, meaning that it can last for months, years, after the initial trigger. Yeah, so you could have an inflammation, for example, you could have an injury, and that injury doesn't heal properly because of the situation in the body, and you might not even know. And that could be an irritant long term. And those pathogen toxins that are in the body are actually irritating your body more and more. And because of and I'm going to literally say this out loud, the body does not heal because the environment of the body does not allow it to. So it's not the inflammation itself that hurts you or the body, it's the body's environment that's not actually optimal to heal that inflammation and the wound that happens. So it's the other way around. We tend to think, that caused something to me, but we need to understand that our immune system, if it's strong, like we had this last week, if our immune system is strong, then your body will be capable of protecting itself at whatever cause. Yeah. So if you are having an injury or if you have a cut, if your body's immune system is strong, the inflammation response will be acute and your body will heal the wound really fast. And if that's not happening on whatever level, yeah, then there's something that we need to look at. So what is it in the environment of the body that it's not helping to heal this issue? So we need to go the other way around. And chronic inflammation is something that, majority of us, we call it sneaky, right? Because it's a really low amount. It's like if you would be having this sound in your ear all the time, yeah? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on a really low frequency, just so that you could hear it, but not really hear it. And that will be going on for months and years and all of that. And that's happening in the body. And you're not really realizing it because majority of us are actually not connected to the body. So we don't hear the symptoms. We don't really see what's going on. We're actually not observing what body does, because body will give you symptoms before it will come to the situation of chronic inflammation. Yeah. Of course, chronic inflammation can also happen with intense stress on the body, because stress is a huge contributor to the inflammatory process of the body. So we need to understand balancing stress, of course, lowers inflammation, because body will try to protect its cells, and we're going to look at the cells next. And why is that important? Because the cells are the building blocks of your body. And if the cells are not built correctly every time they divide, your body will not be able to regenerate. So let's look at the causes of inflammation. First are infections, anything of the outside environment, right? And I'm not saying here bacteria, viral infections, and fungi, these are your enemies. No, I'm actually saying these are things that can enter your body. Your body is made out of bacteria. Literally, you have more bacteria than you have skin. Your skin is literally made out of bacteria. So you just don't see it. So infections are things that come in where the body can't actually protect itself because the immune system is lowered. Physical injury or trauma, this one is a physical trauma to the body, and that creates shock on the nervous system. It creates stress on the body, and of course, something breaks or something tears, yeah, because there's a trauma stress on a specific area, and because it happens, the body needs to create inflammation in order to start healing it. Because during the inflammation process, what happens is the body actually activates the immune system and sends the white blood cells, which are the Pac-Man, that eats everything else that it's not supposed to be there, and activates the regeneration cells, so dividing cells, to actually regenerate and multiply. So those things happen, and they specifically need to happen if you want to heal. But if the cells do not proliferate properly and divide properly, you will not have regeneration. And then we have foreign bodies, things that we inject, things that we, place upon us, things that we eat, things that, that come through the body. Remember the detoxification pathway, there's that pathways that we've done, the immune system that we've done, what's going on and where the body actually does activate its defenses. And then ionizing radiation. So this is particularly focused on either radioactive energy, so reactors and things that are radioactive around us. It could also be focused on solar storms. So ionizing radiation comes from solar storms, and that's why we have the atmosphere to protect us from it, because there is ionizing radiation from the universe around us. And ionizing radiation, it's actually really damaging, and it's damaging to the nucleus of our DNA, which changes DNA completely. And X-rays are one of those things that cause ionizing radiation. If we are exposed to X-rays for too long, we can actually, shift and change our DNA. We can damage it, and it could lead to cell death or genetic mutations, cancer development, because there are mutations in the division of cells, right? Because they literally influence the DNA. And then autoimmune disorders. And I would like to say here that autoimmune disorders are not something that happens like this, right? So your body has a reason why its immune system is going ballistic, So there's been a prolonged stressor of what that is. I'm not going to go into that, but there has been something before the autoimmune situation happened. So the information that was passed through from cell to cell was not properly transferred. And if there's no proper transfer of information, then the cell can't divide properly. So if the cell can't divide properly, it does not communicate properly and it does not build properly. So if that happens for a prolonged period of time, then the information through the nervous system and to the immune system and through the body is cut. So the body then has it's like Chinese whispers, The body then gets the wrong information and starts attacking itself. So autoimmune disorders and conditions have had something beforehand happened before this situation happened. So it's always good to think, what was happening before in the body? What was the lifestyle? What was the perceptions? What was the emotions that actually caused the body to go into this situation? So we need to understand that body does things for a reason every single time. And then, of course, exposure to chemicals and toxins, which we've done in our detoxification session. So chemicals and toxins today are insane, If you understand that a baby born today in their blood carries at least 250 different chemicals and toxins when it's born, then you understand how important those things are. So we need to understand that we are inhaling, ingesting, absorbing through our skin the chemicals and toxins from everywhere, because currently the earth is not clean anymore, and no air is clean anymore, and no water is literally clean anymore, because we need to filter everything, because there's medications, chemicals, toxins, heavy metals in everything. And it's really hard to sustain your body without toxins. And you need to really support your body's detoxification pathways in order to keep your immune system working, because those are huge disruptors, like huge disruptors. So all of this together with stress, and stress with emotional trauma, is a huge distributor of your immune system. Yeah, and causing inflammation in your body. So your emotions, especially your contractive emotions, grief, shame, guilt, anger, suppressed and not expressed, are actually toxins in your body. They cause inflammation, and long-term suppression of those emotions actually give out acid in your body, and your body becomes more acidic, and that causes inflammation. So let's look at how Healy can help and what it does. And I'm going to talk about also a bit about alkaline and balance, alkaline and acidic state of the body as well. So when we are looking at our body, the building blocks of our body, of course, are the cells. Within the cells, we have the energy, magnetic field, electricity. But the cell on a physical level is a building block. So out of a cell, specifically a stem cell, yeah, which does not have any label of what it is, every cell in the body is built and rebuilt. So when we are looking at a healthy cell, we are looking at a potential, a voltage that a cell contains, which is the energy that cell contains. So think of it as a battery, yeah? So the cell is like a battery, and the optimal, charge of the cell is minus 70 millivolts, yeah? You don't have to know the number. I'm just saying that this is the capacity of the cell, yeah? And when you're looking at the cell in itself, you can see it how it becomes smaller. This is the young healthy cell, and the lower the voltage becomes, so the more energy the cell loses. Why is that important? Because the cell actually needs the energy, the electricity, the charge, the voltage in the cell for its metabolism. So meaning to exchange toxins and bring in, proteins and building blocks to create new cells, to build more energy, to actually absorb minerals, and clean things out. If the charge gets less and less and less and less, what happens is that metabolic process is actually diminished. So the exchange through the membrane does not happen as smoothly as we would like. And the more that is disrupted, the more issues we are experiencing in the body. So if we are looking at basically, this is just the presentation. This is not a specific fact of how, things will go in the metabolism. It's just a representation of what this would look like. So if a young healthy cell loses voltage and comes to about minus 50, you get aging sick cells. So your cell starts dying, because the membrane process, exchange is limited. And then as soon as it drops under 50, minus 50 millivolts, we start seeing things that you are experiencing within the physical body, which is aches and pains, inflammation, you can have edema, blood loss. Tumor cells are really low, like minus 50 millivolts, meaning that the cell has been dying for a long time, so the body does not know how to work with it, and the proliferation or the division of cells is really, really impaired. And then the cell division is the last one before cell death, is cell cannot divide anymore because it doesn't have enough energy. So we need to understand that, like our phones that need to work on a battery, our cells need energy in order to actually do its process properly. So everything else can influence this, and the symptoms that we get from it, are, for example, acute inflammation. When we have cuts and abrasions and all of that, we get, redness, and we get heat, we get a bit of swelling. we get a bit of pain, or loss of function of, a limb if you actually get, a pretty big sprain, or you broke your leg. But if we have chronic inflammation, there's other symptoms that you can have, but with chronic inflammation, a lot of things are like fatigue, that we don't know where it's coming from. Feeling unwell, a lot of sickness, for example, getting a lot of colds and flus, and your body's not fighting, it doesn't have the strong defense system anymore. You can have like temperature changes, depending on where in the body things are, depending on the systems that are happening and that are impaired. And that's, again, looking at also the emotional part and the energetic part of why are those systems in the body influenced and why are they impaired. So those are the symptoms that you could look for. But when looking at the cells, when the cell loses energy, something that influences our body is also our balanced state, so acidic and alkaline state. The body in itself, so I really need to say this, the body has different pH, which is our acidic or alkaline states, in the body. So not everything needs to be alkaline. Because if everything would be alkaline, we would never have defense systems to actually fight pathogens out of the body. So important things are that our whole body in its essence needs minerals, and minerals are the ones that actually alkalize the body. And also, the more, we have minerals are coming from vegetables, of course, they're coming from proteins, and we need proteins. So protein is a building block of the body. If we don't have enough proteins, we can't bind heavy metals out of the body. So the body will actually start moving heavy metals around and not even binding them. That will actually store them into fat because they're actually really, really toxic for our body. So protein is our building block. Vegetables are minerals. Of course, there's other things like salts, and salt is important for your kidneys. But it's really important to have those two, and a hydration, because water, and the right water, because if you're drinking too much water and you don't have enough minerals, you're not alkaline and not charged enough in order for the exchange in the cell to happen. So why is that important? Because you start actually retaining water, because the water is now outside of the cell instead of going into the cell. So it's not hydrating the cell, it's actually staying outside of the cell. So salt is, a charger for the body in order to transfer electricity and for the metabolism of the cell to happen, but it's also high in minerals, which alkalizes the body and pulls out the toxins. So this is basic alkaline acidic state. It's really important to understand that keeping your body not too alkaline or too acidic, but somewhere in between. 7.5 is ideal, but stomach, please do not alkalize your stomach because you will become sick. Your stomach needs to be acid. Your stomach needs to be really, really acidic. And you also need to help your stomach to build the walls, because without the acidity in the stomach, you will not kill any pathogens that come in, and you will not digest food properly. That means you will not absorb minerals that you actually need and nutrients that you actually need in order to alkalize the body, which happens, as we heard in the digestive session, it happens in, through a stomach, and then, into the small intestine when the pancreas and the liver and the gallbladder come in to actually digest whatever it is, so the absorption happens. But we need to understand that if we don't have the right absorption in the small intestine, meaning that the small intestine is actually not performing well, if there's not enough stomach acid, so we can actually digest that and protect ourselves from pathogens, so we don't actually have the immune system that we need, and we don't have enough minerals and proteins, we can't actually alkalize the body and eliminate what's not needed in the body anymore. And when we apply, and why I'm saying this is because when you are applying Healy and you want the body to lower the inflammation, IMF current in itself, by charging the cell, will help to lower inflammation. Any program you use will help to lower inflammation as long as it's IMF program. But if you are not supporting your body to alkalize and to actually eliminate the toxins that you are now charging your cell, and the cell will start literally eliminating those toxins. And if you're not supporting your body for the toxins to get out, they will go back into your bloodstream. And that is actually a problem, because then that taxes your liver. And that is not a good thing, because liver is the second largest organ in the body. And it's actually a really, besides the skin, right? But it's a really big part of your body. And we don't actually take care of our liver. And the liver cleanses everything in the body. And we put everything in and we think liver will just do the work. No, we need to help the body to lower the inflammation. One thing you can do besides, Healy programs is change your diet. Yeah? Make sure you stop eating sugar. Yeah? Because sugar is the highest inflammatory food in the world. Yeah? And it's gonna kill you, literally. It's killing the cells. And the second part are carbohydrates, especially simple processed carbohydrates, especially wheat, because wheat today is not the same wheat as it was, decades ago. It's a different type of wheat, and it's a simpler starch that our body doesn't know how to process. So it's a pure toxin to our body. So we are killing ourselves by just eating those two things. So I always say, if you want to lower inflammation, the first thing to start, vegetables. The greener the possible, the best. Make sure they're organic, so you're not eating pesticides and herbicides. I had this conversation the other day about strawberries. In Australia, currently, strawberries are in season because it's winter. But I don't know if you know, strawberries are one of the highest fruits containing the most pesticides and herbicides. If you do the research on Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen strawberries, well, spinach was actually the highest, but the strawberries has lowered. But they found this year more than 500 different pesticides and herbicides on one strawberry. So if you're actually eating that or juicing that, you're drinking liquid pesticides. So imagine now how that influences your liver and your digestion and how much work your body needs to do. So no matter how many frequencies you're going to throw at it, no matter how much you're going to reduce the inflammation through frequency, if you're going to eat things like strawberries that are not organic, you might as well not do anything, because you're literally eating things that are killing you and then expecting other things to actually help your body. So we need to understand the mentality. So if you're looking at the cell, and if your body's having inflammation, or even worse, right? If you're here, so if you're applying frequencies, the body will be the frequency devices or the Healy will charge the cell, but it will take a while before it will come to here. Yeah, so there's simple steps here, but there's different levels, and the body actually needs to absorb those frequency, get rid of all the toxins that are in there, and there's a process of regeneration that happens in between. So make sure that you are patient. Make sure that you are creating a physical environment within the body and outside of the body to actually help your body heal. And if you do that, then this will actually make it faster. So you apply programs to make your body heal faster. So what you're doing is creating an environment that just speeds things up. And that's what we want, right? We want to speed up situations. It took me 10 years to heal my endometriosis because I used my own knowledge and my own energy. But if I would have tools, to speed up the speed up the healing and speed up creating environment in my body. Oh my God, what have I, like, I would give anything to lessen the years and time of being in pain. And I'm not saying expecting miracles, but speeding up the process of me doing the work, because that is amazing. Because nothing else will happen and just fall out of the sky. Because inflammation is a long-term process. Because the body has been fighting this, something in the body, and the body has been trying to fight it for so long that it doesn't know what to do anymore. That's why you're getting inflamed. So it's really important to start eliminating things, especially when we're trying to reduce inflammation. Eliminating things that are not supporting the healing of your body, and then applying frequencies on different levels in order to speed up the process. Okay, now let's go and look at the process. So I haven't done the body structure, but I have done the systems that are included in the inflammatory process. So immune system is the top one. And we've done the whole immune system. I just gave you the basic programs here again, so you can actually take a look at them. But as we talked about with the digestive session, as well as the immune system session, the immune system begins in the gut. So if your gut is not strong, then your immune system will be compromised as well. So make sure that you take care of your gut and your microbiome. And that also means, what are you feeding it? Yeah. What foods are you actually feeding your gut and your body? So we are doing the challenge starting next week for the power of 3. You have 3 options in the group, and we are looking at the gut and cleaning the gut, and really cleaning the parasites out with the Zappa protocol and the power of 3. And that's going to be a 9-week protocol, and you can join still if you want to. That's also an option. The second part of our inflammatory system is our endocrine system, that governs our hormones and that governs our stress responses. So the most important thing is to, as I've been saying for months, to actually support your nervous system and to support your, because nervous system is a part of endocrine system. And hormones, which are your, and stress responses are important because they govern everything in the body. And having, programs to support yourself is really important. If you, depending on where you are, so if your hormones are really out of balance, then you need to look at every part of your HPA axis, which is the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. That includes also the gut and the liver, because we have the vagus nerve in there. But it's really important. We don't have a hypothalamus program in Healy. I have my personal expert program that includes hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal. So those 3. And I bought that specifically for myself because my nervous system, going through a war, being an abusive, family situation, and being really stressed and having emotional trauma, my body needs currently still constant attention to actually lower the stresses on my body. And in my endocrine system and my glands are the ones that are lowering the stress responses. And when I do that, the inflammation subsides and I'm not anxious and I'm not doing anything. But that's me. So you need to know your own symptoms. How are your hormones? Are you talking to your doctor? Have you looked at them? How is your, if you are a woman, how is your period? How is your cycle? There's so many things you can actually learn from that. Your cycle, your temperatures, if you are measuring them, body basal temperature, basal body temperature, is something that tells you everything about your body. It tells you everything about your thyroid, about your hormones, your acidic and alkaline balance. There's so many things that you can learn from your own cycle. Your body's giving you messages, that you can actually read. And balancing those hormones is really important. We've done the whole session on the hormonal system, which includes the HPA axis, but I gave you some programs to actually support you with that. So if you don't know what's going on with your hormones, you can also scan your Blue app and see what's coming up. Otherwise, if you feel like you kind of are getting anxious and you're kind of too agitated, or you kind of can't calm down, I like to use a few programs that are like my go-to, which are Pure Calm in Deep Cycle H and Classical Energetic in the Power of 3, or I do Hormone Harmony in Bioenergetic 1. If my nervous system is really agitated, then I do Balance Nerves. So because I have the hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal in my own program. But if you don't, you can also run the pineal gland harmony, which is in the bioenergetic vitalization. And bioenergetic vitalization is really, really good to do with anything with DNA, blood, and things like that, and all the gland system in the body. And then circulatory system. That's not only lymphatic system, but the whole circulation, including the heart, the kidneys, the liver, the spleen, and of course the lymph and everything else. Building the circulation of the body is really important because it eliminates the toxins, because with the inflammation, we need to focus on eliminating toxins out of the body. And toxins can come out of your emotions, they can come out of your environment, what you ingest, what you inhale, like all of that, and what you put on your skin. In all of that are toxins. So looking at that, eliminating that as much as possible, and supporting the body to move things around to get them out and eliminate is important. So all the circulations, there's plenty of circulation programs. I like the bioenergetic harmony in the fitness one. And then conflict balance, the Power 3 is really good too. And I normally run the heart, either the heart meridian. I like to use some of the digital nutrition mixtures if I feel like, if my digestion is getting stuck a bit, then that means the circulation is getting slower. I then add on digital nutrition mixtures to actually build on nutrients. We are going to have digital nutrition in the next quarter, but I'm waiting for some things to come from corporate, so hopefully that will come through. And then of course, free flow is a really good one too, to move the toxins as well as the blood through. And of course, if you don't have the professional edition, you can always use the gold cycles, right? So these are all the basics, but like every program that you could think of, but you can just start, if you don't know, you just start with gold cycles, even if you don't have the highest editions. Pure is beautiful for detoxification and circulation. Release, balance is great for endocrine system. And care is beautiful for immune system. So those basics in the gold cycle are amazing because they're systemic programs. They're not just specific for a meridian or organ, which work for the whole body, which is amazing. So and then lymphatic system, don't forget about lymphatic system. If you're trying to support your immune system, or if you're trying to actually lower inflammation, lymphatic system is crucial, because if lymph is actually stuck, and if you're not absorbing the water because you don't have enough minerals, then the toxins are getting stuck. So if the toxins are getting stuck, they're not getting out through the liver and into your intestine or through your kidneys and out through your urine. It's really important, because then if the toxins are not moving, if the lymph is not moving, you are going to get like skin rashes and things coming out of the skin, because it's not enough circulation, it's not enough movement. If you do want to move the lymph, one is using the programs. I love the impurities. I love the lymphatic system in meridians. Bacteria harmony is amazing. Classical physical. So those first ones are my favorite. Then if you have any skin issues where the lymph is already stagnant, I would use the skin harmony to actually start moving the lymph and the toxins that are already coming out of the skin. And then of course, gold cycles, pure, care, release. And then if there's any issues with the lymph nodes, if they're like inflamed or there's like stagnation, You can use the tissue harmony in bioenergetic vitalization, which actually moves and changes the cells in the, not changes, but influences the cells in the tissue, anywhere in the body. Yeah. And then of course the clean oil in the cycle will go to the roots. Yeah, that's a good one too. And then blood. People forget blood systems when they do inflammation. They tend to go toxins, immune system, endocrine system. They do all of that, but they forget about the blood. So the blood is the life of you. So if the blood is not working, the cells are not working, then nothing's going to be built. So blood is built through the bone marrow, and the bone marrow is where, you know, the white blood cells are formed as well, and they're also where the stem cells are formed. So it's where you are actually being built out of. So there's some beautiful programs in bioenergetic vitalization for the blood, but my favorites are regeneration 1 in bioenergetic vitalization, epigenetic harmonization. I love for the blood. I started using that because I used to have a blood clot, and sometimes I would still feel like the scarring and the wound in my shoulder. And when I got the Healy and I got the professional, I was looking at the bioenergetic vitalization, and when I saw the epigenetic harmonization, I was like, oh my God, I need to try that. So I started trying that, and like the feeling in my shoulder where my blood clot was started subsiding, and I'm like, that's really strange. So I kept using it, and I started using the regenerations, and all of a sudden things started moving, and I'm like, okay, that's actually good. So bioenergetic vitalization is one of my favorite programs as well, and epigenetic harmonization and regeneration 1 are actually specifically built for the blood. Also, if you want to activate your stem cells in bioenergetic vitalization, is also the bone harmony. Yeah. And of course, anything with the blood. If you are a woman, there's a woman program, which it's not only for your period or menstruation, it's actually to move the blood. Yeah, so it's actually moving the blood in the body. Bioinformation is a really good one too, which is the digital nutrition one. It's actually the nutrients and the information that your body needs to transfer information from cell to cell. What else? Heart, of course, because it's pumping blood, but then of course again, care and balance in a gold cycles. And of course the liver. Liver is so spleen creates the blood, liver moves the blood. So if there's any stagnation in the blood, or you feel like, you know, your body's kind of slow, just kick on the liver harmony. Yeah, because the liver is moving the blood through the body. And when the blood starts moving, the toxins start moving, and then you can add on the lymphatic system to actually move the lymph and move the toxins out of the body. And if there's a lot of toxins that your body's then dumping into your gut or into your kidneys and then into your bladder, yeah, you can have a side effect of urinary tract infections, yeah, because there's so many toxins coming out. Or you can have a diarrhea, right? Because if there's so many toxins being dumped in your gut, the body will want to actually take it out, yeah? So it's really important to observe your body, what you're doing and how you're doing it, so you're listening, supporting it where it's at, yeah? But that's kind of the situation. And then of course, the digestive system, we've covered that. You have your programs, the whole list of programs that Jazz actually gave us. And if you want specific ones, you can buy that on there. There's all the information. I've popped everything into the group. I know I gave you a lot. I popped things out that are the basics and the most important things. But inflammation is a complex process. So it's a simple way when we're looking at it's the body literally protecting you, but we don't specifically know. We need to be a detective. Why is that literally happening in the body? Because if we're not a detective, then unfortunately we will never learn how to listen to the body, and we'll be always codependent on others. And I'm not saying it's not good to ask for help. Please do. But be self-sufficient and dependent on yourself to actually listen to your intuition, to listen to your body, because you are the only one that actually knows what's going on. But Healy has amazing programs for so many things. If you need a specific program for inflammation, you can go to a time wherever practitioner, they have literally frequency specific for inflammation, general, or there's specific inflammation or programs that you can create specific for organs. So there's many things that you can create, but you can start with these. There's like plenty of programs for you to start. Just make sure that you are consistent, because remember, right? If this is the young cell and this is the way you are, you will need slow movements to come back to regeneration and to full regeneration. So be patient, yeah? And then tweaking things in between when you kind of learn more about yourself. Okay, now I've been on a tangent. So that's a lot of programs. I'll again screenshot this, pop it into the post in the group, so you have all of these. I'm just gonna stop sharing. Is there any questions? If they are, you can raise your hand if you want to, or you can pop them into the chat. Okay. Minaz, you can, if that's what you resonate, you can message me directly through the group on Messenger, and we can have a chat. How many programs can you do? I think we have this question every single time. Okay. Healy's recommendations of IMF programs, which are the pink app programs, except the local stimulation programs, which are not IMF programs. Yeah. So any programs in the local stimulation are not IMF programs. Everything else has an IMF icon next to the program, and that's what you are looking for. I would not go over 3, and Healy recommends up to 3. Yeah. If you're using bracelets. So if you're using coil, Healy officially recommends you can do maybe up to 2, max 3 more. Yeah. But this is me, not you. This is me. My experience with clients and my experience on myself. I would not recommend you to literally bombard your body with frequencies, because body needs regeneration. It needs integration. So if you don't allow your body to integrate the frequencies, what you're doing is, imagine yourself in a conversation where I'm the body and you are talking to me, and you're talking all the time. There is no pause. I can't speak. I can't do anything. You are literally talking at me and bombarding me with all this information, and I'm like trying to breathe. Yeah. So this is actually how things happen in the body on a frequency level. So our body needs not only, okay, I had this conversation with a team of women that we're doing retreats with, but life happens in expansion and contraction. When we breathe in, we expand. When we breathe out, we contract. So we need both. Now imagine if you would be breathing in all the time. Try it. Can you? Because if you can, then please do 1,000,000 programs a day. But if you actually need to exhale in between, then I would encourage you to pause and not do the programs all the time, and make a pause between the programs, at least an hour to an hour and a half. So make sure that you can integrate the programs instead of always just bombarding your body. And people say to me, yeah, but coil is not, there's no EMF frequencies. You can, run as many programs as you want. And I'm like, yeah, but it's still a magnetic field. So it's still an information transfer. So your body still needs to, integrate and adjust and adapt. So yes, it happens faster, but we also need to understand that we are transferring information on a physical level through a magnetic field. There's a different density. So it needs integration in between. So make sure that you understand that if you are transferring via bracelets or clips or whatever, IMF, current, direct microcurrent, you are running current through your organs. So you're now charging the cells and literally adding in electricity. If you're running your programs through the magnetic field, either through coil or through Healy, you are also charging your nervous system. So you're agitating it a lot if you're bombarding your body. So your nervous system will still feel it, because nervous system feeds your magnetic field, your energy field. So it's still the information. So make sure that you exhale. Yeah? So you do a pause. Okay. And then is a type of inflammation. Okay, so adenomyosis is a type of inflammation. Yes. So anything like endometriosis, adenomyosis, PCOS, those are all inflammatory based issues. Yeah. And if that's inflammation, and I'm talking from my experience for endometriosis, I was told by many doctors that, endometriosis is a hormonal situation, but it's actually not. It's an inflammatory situation. So your body doesn't know what to do with information that's stored in there. So there's a suppressed energy within that part of your body that is agitating and inflaming that part. So you need to now look at the layers of yourself and really support yourself in order to lower the inflammation. And that means physical environment, like foods and stress, de-stressing, exercise, clean water, clean air, all of that, whatever is influencing the toxins in the body to lower the inflammation, and then help yourself with frequency to actually support your body to start regenerating. Yeah. Frequency helps. Yes. I also have a program specifically done for endometriosis with frequencies from an expert program. There's frequencies for everything. Yeah. How much it will help is how much you will do the work. Yeah. So if you do the work, besides just, popping frequency on, it's like an example, it's like having an old house and you want to, paint the wall, but the wall is falling apart. And then you're literally just popping paint on. Yeah. You're not actually looking at the structure of the wall and what needs to be changed. So if you're just doing that, then yes, of course, it's not going to work. It's going to work for 3 months or 6 months and then nothing, because the wall at the back, the structure of the wall, it's falling apart. So you need to look at the cause, right? What's going on and where it's going on and where is it coming and why is it there? And then applying frequencies in order to support, lowering inflammation and regeneration of the body and all of that. What are the programs for so anything related to thyroid, it's layered. Yeah. So as I said, we can't do conditions, but I will share my experiences. So anything related to thyroid is related to your adrenal glands. Anything related to adrenal glands is related to your nervous system. Anything related to your nervous system is related to your glands, hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal. Yeah. So you need to de-stress first. You need to actually build the bioinformation connection between the cells so the information can travel clearly. Yeah. Lowering inflammation, of course. Higher doses of vitamin C, definitely, because you need antioxidants. There's an antioxidant program in digital nutrition, which is actually really good. But remember, if your adrenal glands are so stressed, your thyroid will react. So either you are making too much cortisol or you're making not enough cortisol. Yeah, so you went over the threshold. And that influences your thyroid. So you will need to look at the whole endocrine system and the thyroid support. Yeah. I actually have, I think I still have it. It's from one of the members. I have received this. She created her own protocol for, it was the underactive thyroid. And she actually reversed it in 3 months with Healy. So, and I'm not saying that this will happen for everyone, but that was her experience. So if anybody's in the group and wants that protocol, just let me know and I can share it with you in the group. But yeah, that was her experience. Which program can be taken for high blood pressure? Okay, I literally had this conversation with high blood pressure this week. Wow, okay, that's interesting. It's coming up. Okay, blood pressure. We are pressurized beings. Magnetic field and electricity is working on pressure. Yeah. So when we have, again, right? Anything done with pressure is related to your heart and to your blood. And that will be related to your liver and to your spleen. And then we need to look at how the body is cleaning things out, how the body is making things, and where is actually the cause of the high blood pressure. Because normally the high blood pressure happens when the arteries get a bit clogged, yeah? So the blood needs more pressure to move through. So we need to understand why their arteries are getting clogged. What's happening in the body? Is it coming from the heart? Is it coming, from the liver? Is it coming from the pancreas? There's so many different things we can look at, but we need to understand what's going on in the body. So this is not, as I said, yes, you can actually run. What was this one? Bioenergetic vitalization, regeneration 1, and epigenetic harmonization, and bone harmony to actually help the cells. There's also one, let me just see if it comes up. I'm just gonna go into search so I can see if I find that one. Give me 3 seconds. So this loads. Probably this one. You can also run the heart. Classical physical is good too. Here, reduction and exertion are in digital nutrition. Those are good too. Gold cycles, of course, release, relax, to actually lower that one, but antioxidants, yeah, and tissue harmony. So if your arteries, so also we need to look at if there's high blood pressure, is there high cholesterol as well? If it's low cholesterol, what's going on and where that high pressure is coming from? So there's different ways to look at things, right? So we need to ask, why is that high pressure? What's going on in the body? But either way, it's connected to your blood systems. So try blood first and see how that works. If not, be a detective and just go deeper into your body. Hair loss, is there a program that can... There's a lot of hair programs in beauty. There's hair, nails, that all boost collagen in your body. So you can try those. Hair is also, so this part, this here and this here is also connected to your gut. Yeah? So this part of your head and this part of your head are the whole colon, yeah, large intestine, small intestine. So if you have like dandruff or stuff, that means that the bacterial harmony in the gut is actually out of balance. So if that happens, I would encourage you to actually look at the gut first before you start running, or at least do the gut together with the hair programs. Yeah, so you can actually start cleansing things out, and you will see on the hair, you will see, when the new hair starts growing, when the bacteria starts balancing, you will see a different texture of the hair. Yeah, so it's going to be, oh, hi, on Zoom. So you're going to have it should become more shiny, it should become thicker. The color changes, it shines more, because the bacteria in the gut are actually related to your scalp. Yeah. Then may I know how many programs can we do under the Blue Dot? Okay, again, Blue Dot app, Healy recommends not more than 3 lists of programs per day. Yeah, so if you're running, for example, if you're scanning all Healy programs and you scan the top 2 groups, then you have 3. If you're gonna vibrate, then if you vibrate all Healy program list, you vibrate the top first group, then the second top group. Those are all 3 list of programs. Yeah. So I would not run more than 3 lists of programs unless your body, like, you know that you can handle more. But you need to really, practice with yourself to see how how are you affected by it. Like for me, I do normally about 3 IMF programs on cables. And if I do another one, I normally do it on coil, and I don't do more than one. That's me. And if I do the blue dot together with that, I would normally do the aura and the coaching, normally for about 6 minutes each. And that's all I would do on the blue dot. So ask yourself, why are you trying to fit everything in a day? Yeah. So, and what are you trying to achieve with scanning and vibrating everything? Because it's like, trying to heal everything, it's not going to heal anything. Yeah. Focusing on one section like gut and detoxification and really working with that, and then seeing the changes, and then choosing another focus when you see that your gut is better, choosing another focus and saying, now I really want to work on, I don't know, inflammation, lowering inflammation, because now the gut can handle it. I can now really work on inflammation. I can really look at my situation in the environment. I can look at what frequencies I can use consistently. I can then maybe join this with the aura scan and the coaching, or maybe like Schüssel salts or creative homeopathy, like whatever that suits you, like something that supports the emotional part and something that supports the mental patterns. Yeah, so you can actually look at the physical support, you look at the emotional support, and then you look at the mental support, because then you're working on different layers of the body, because then you're sending information to the body's layers of like etheric layers, you're shifting things there, and then you're supporting the body on an energetic level, charging the cells in order to regenerate faster and to actually divide properly, so the body cells will now build on a better foundation. So have a bit of a logic around it. So why are you, like a structure, like why are you choosing all those programs? Is because you want to, or do you have a focus with it? Remember, we are working with energies, we're working with quantum field. So if you don't have an intention and you don't have a focus of where your energy goes, then it's like, I always forget how you, the sling thingy, that you put on like a rocks on and you like start shooting. So it's not going to go anyway, not going to hit any targets. Yeah, so energy in quantum field, you need to focus energy in order to get results. So otherwise you're just throwing things around. So focus on one area, support it on a physical, emotional, mental, energetically anyway. Yeah, because we're doing the energetics. Through Blue App, we're doing energetics. So if you focus on that, you will see there'll be patterns forming. So when you're going to scan, for example, the physical part of yourself, like all Healy programs, and there's physical programs that come up, right? And then you choose the programs from the top, for example, and you actually pop your cables on, and then you scan your aura or any emotional part, like, Bach flowers, and Schüssel salts, or creative homeopathy, right? Whatever you choose. And you're going to look at the list of things and you go, oh, wow. For example, I don't know, kidneys came up on a physical scan, but on an emotional, wow, there's fears coming up. So there's a connection. Kidneys and fears connect. So, okay, there's a pattern here. So let me look at the mental part. So what are my belief systems and my perceptions of the world that's causing me these fears? So now I understand my body is stressed. Yeah, my kidneys are stressed, and they're stressed because I'm in a fear frequency. So where is this fear coming from? So I can look at the coach module and go, okay, these are the patterns of my thoughts, beliefs, either mine or someone else's. How can I shift those patterns so I can see a different perspective that will not cause me so much fear and so much stress in the body? Because we want to resolve the issue. We just don't want to, throw things at the body and say, body, now resolve it. Because we need to make it conscious That's the point. Working with quantum field, and transformation happens when awareness of a certain situation or issue becomes conscious. Because when we are aware, we are already starting to shift that frequency. Because until we're not aware, we are living in that state of being subconsciously. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's not about how many programs, it's about what's your focus. Okay. Issues with the for the digestive issue, the constipation or whatever, digestol is really good. I like to combine digestol, clean all, bacteria harmony, and if you still have constipation, then either circulation, or I like to pair it with herbs, yeah, to actually help the body eliminate and, create a peristalsis of the gut. But there are also expert programs with time aware practitioner that you can get for constipation if you want to, but there's plenty for you to start with. But the more you're going to build on your digestive health, the better your elimination will become. Yeah. And I don't know if we actually talked about in digestive health what is actually a normal elimination. Yeah. I'm gonna probably shock you right now, but just giving you a heads up. So normal and natural elimination and the health of your gut, if your gut is healthy, you should eliminate as many meals as you have per day. That's the elimination number that you need to have. So if you have 2 meals per day, you need to eliminate twice. If you have 3 meals per day, you need to eliminate 3 times. So it's not once per week. Yeah. So I'm just letting you know, toxins should not sit in the body because they actually cause a lot of problems. Yeah. And long term lead to really, really intense issues. So I would really encourage you, if that's not the case in your life, and if your gut health is not there, I would really encourage you to work on your gut, because gut is crucial. Yeah, for your mucous membranes, for your immune system, for your hormones, for your detoxification pathways, for so many things. If you have inflammation in the body, if you have issues in the body, start with your gut. Yeah, we have a beautiful 3-part power of 3 protocol that actually works on the gut. You can join us, you can work with it. Like, I've done gut cleanses so many times in my life, like literally I do them twice a year, because I know that detoxification process needs help, and I do them naturally twice a year. And until you actually experience it and you feel the relief afterwards and you can see the changes, you will not understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so you really need to have an experience of this. But digestive health is really, really important. Okay, pregnant woman. Healy does not recommend using Healy devices for pregnant women. Yeah, so make sure that you are, talking to a doctor, and that is on your own accord. Yeah, blood thinners. Yeah. So I was on blood thinners. So anything that that is, I can't, that's too specific. Like I can't answer that, but anything with blood, yeah, try blood. But again, right, medication and frequency, like they are contradictory. Yeah, they will support you, yeah, but don't expect that things will just happen. Yeah, I'll share the thyroid protocol in the Facebook group. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Yes, spider veins, definitely. So this is my information. I'm not saying that this is the only thing. Yeah. So the structure of the veins is actually weak. So you need to actually work with the lymphatic system. You need to work with the heart. You need to work with the blood. You also need to work with nutrients and circulation. And what actually really helps with spider veins is rebounding. Yeah. So physical exercise, it's literally like a trampoline. You can just pop up and down. If you don't have a trampoline, literally just stand on your feet, raise your heels, and just literally just move your heels up and down. Yeah, that will actually create pressure in your body to actually move the blood up and down. And the more nutrients you give your body, the better structure of the veins will be. Yeah, so you're actually lacking nutrients and circulation, and you're damaging your veins in the body. I have no idea what RA is. Yes, Jeffrey, I agree. I love this. Are you ready to give up what you are doing that is keeping you stuck and sick? So I completely agree. Like, you need to be okay to change. Yeah. And if you're not willing to change, and if you're not willing to actually try to get out of where you are, and not just because you're sick of pain and you want to fix it, but because you actually want to be healthy, and you're looking for solution to actually build your health, and you're willing to be patient and build the resilience, then unfortunately you're not going to get outcomes, because then you're going to always look for magic pills and you're not going to take responsibility for your health. Oh, can you ask what you're doing, but doing the gut? Yeah. Okay. The gut. We had the whole session on digestive health. Yeah. So, and there's a whole session on immune system. So I've done literally bite-sized pieces, created all the programs for you in our Facebook group, so you can go and look at them again. You know, I'm trying to pull all the protocols that we don't have yet from corporate, try to get it out of them, to actually get it for you, so you can start using the programs that you have. Like, seriously, they're amazing programs. Like, I had so many beautiful experiences in the last 4 years with these programs. Like, one was the last one with my voice. The other day, my partner had a digestive issue because, you know, of the soup that he thought it was good, but it was not. Yeah. And he had a digestive issue during night. We popped on the digest all 10 minutes. He was asleep. Everything was fine. And his head was hurting. He was sick. Like, there's so many things that you have this tool that is at your fingertips. And if you're not using it, like, I can't force you to do it, but you have so many beautiful things on this one. It's literally, I'm not going to say doctor, but it's such a beautiful support that you have at your fingertips, and you can be actually empowered. And for the gut, you have the whole list of programs that you could use. And there's a Heal Advisor search that you can use to just write in and search for the programs. So the heart. So as I said, blood systems, heart meridians, anything to do with the heart, you can actually search in the Heal Advisor search module. You can just put heart harmony in there, and it will come up with different list of programs. You can pop them into IMF schedule. It will remind you every day. So Healy made it really simple for you. But of course, you need to start educating yourself. You need to start actually connecting the dots in the knowledge. Yeah. And it's not all on me to tell you what to do. You actually need to take responsibility for yourself and your body, and start thinking with your own head and your, preferably with your own heart and your body. Yeah, because the head can sometimes confuse us. Yeah, because we think we need to know, but we don't, because the body tells us a lot of things. Okay, so this is enough for today. If you have any questions, there is a Q&A session that we have every month. So next week we are going to have a Q&A session on the 5th. So you're more than welcome to join us. If you are, maybe I might postpone it to another week because we have a full one, but I'll let you know in the group if we do. But you can always post the questions in the comments, and I always put a recording up. I know the first one took me a while because YouTube was literally giving me a headache. But I am doing my best to put everything up for you so you can actually have those answers. But please also, I will post a survey into our group. I'm preparing topics by the end of the year, so everything by the end of the year. Would love to know what else would you like to learn. We are going to have a whole month on Mike Healy. I have included that. We have an animal module coming in June, which I'm really excited about. I have a beautiful guest joining me. She's amazing with animals. And I'm so excited to have her on. So we're going to have a proper animal module, and we're going to have a representation and test on a beautiful doggy. So you can see how to use it. It's a really beautiful program if you have animals at home. It's a really gentle approach, and it's a beautiful approach through frequency, and animals respond to frequency so well. And they love them, truly love them. And they are a true representation of what frequencies can do, because they're literally intuitive and they're connected, and our heads are only suppressing and trying not to accept what we can do and what we can create for ourselves. But yeah, if you have any ideas, please pop them. Sugar reverse program. So we don't do the programs here, but we can do different topics of what you want to learn, how to support certain things. Yeah, because time waiver practitioners create programs. I only give you an information that you can use to start supporting your body, so you can actually get results. And I would also love to have maybe in the future like a testimonial session, and I would love you to participate. I would love to hear all the testimonials from you and what you've been doing with Healy. What are your experiences? Because if I'm honest, I'm kind of missing the interaction and hearing your stories. So that's it for tonight. Next week, I think we have, I'm not going to say anything because again, I will miss things. It's a week in between in my head. So you will see it when it comes up, but I'll see you next week on Thursday. We are already in June. I can't believe it. Next week. But thank you for coming and thank you for joining me, and I'll be seeing you next Thursday. Have a great night and have a great day. Bye-bye.